Dear students, this is session 6 video. In this video, we are going to discuss on the different types of the bonds in a brick masonry. See, there are total 11 different types of the bonds in brick masonry. They are structure bond, header bond, English bond, Flemish bond, facing bond, Dutch bond, racking bond, zigzag bond, English cross bond, garden wall bond and brick on edge bond. So we'll discuss one by one. We'll start from structure bond. So in this bond, longer narrow face of the brick is called the structure as shown in the figure and elevation of the figure below. We'll see it later. Structure bond is also called a running bond. It's created when bricks are laid with only their structure showing, overlapping midway with the courses of bricks below and above. Structure bond in the brick is the simplest repeating pattern, but the limitations of the structure bond is that it cannot make effective bonding with the adjacent bricks in full width thick brick walls. So something like this it looks. This is the elevation and plan of the structure bond. Okay, they are suitably used only for 1/2 brick thick walls, such as for the construction of half brick thick partition walls. In that place, it is good actually whenever you want to construct the half brick thick partition wall. Walls constructed with the structure bond are not stable enough to stand alone in case of longer span and height. Thus, they can need supporting structure such as brick masonry columns at regular intervals. For a longer length, you need to provide a brick masonry columns in between in a regular intervals. Structure bonds are commonly used in the steel or reinforced concrete frame structures as the outer facing. These are also used in the outer facing of the cavity walls. Other common applications of such walls are boundary walls, gardens, wall, etc. Okay. This is regarding the structure. This is how it looks. This is the elevation. The structure part of the brick, which you can see from outside. First, second, third, and fourth courses. This is 1, 3, 5 in alternate courses. It looks like this, the plan. Next, we'll move on to the header course. This looks something like this. So header is the short square face of the brick which measures 9 by 9 centimeter. Header bond is also known as heading bond. In header bonds, all the bricks in each courses are placed as a headers on the faces of the walls. So while structure bond is used for the construction of walls of half brick thickness, whereas header bond is used for the construction of the walls with the full brick thickness which measures 18 centimeters thickness of the wall. So in a header bonds, the overlap is kept equal to half width of the brick. To achieve this, 3/4 brick bats are used in alternate courses as quoins. So here you can see it's the elevation. See, 3/4 bat of the brick is used. So 1, 2, 3 and 4th course. See 1, 3, 6 course, it looks like this. 3/4 bats you can see at corners. So in 3D view or isometric view, it looks like this. Let's see headers here. So the overlap is usually kept equal to half of the width of the brick and it's achieved by using 3/4 brick bats in each courses. The bond does not have strength to transmit the pressure in the direction of the length of the wall, hence it is not suitable for load bearing wall. So along the length it cannot transmit the pressure the direction of the length of the wall. So hence it is not suitable for load bearing walls. However, this bond is used for curved surfaces in brickwork because structures, if used for curved surfaces, would project beyond the face of the wall. Next we'll discuss on the English bond. So this is the most commonly used bond. It is considered to be the strongest bond. So following are the features of the English bond. It consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers. So here alternate courses of headers and stretchers will be there. So in other two types, either it is stretchers or it is a headers. So in this bond, vertical joints of the header courses come over each other. Similarly, the vertical joints of the stretcher course also come over each other. There is no continuous vertical joints. Every alternate headers comes centrally over the joint between two stretchers in a course below. So in the stretcher course, the stretchers have a minimum lap of 1/4 of their length over headers. I'll show that. So the queen closures are not required in stretcher courses. Say this figure shows the brick thick wall plan of 200 mm thick English bond. It's called. This is how the finished surface looks like. One stretch is stretcher bond, header bond, stretcher bond, header bond, like this. So here you can see in plan it is 200 thick wall. See here queen closures. This is called queen closure for courses 1, 3, 5. This is for 2, 4, 6. This plan. So they have just changed the position here. You can see this. Okay, here this is a half brick wall plan, 300 mm thick. It is the thickness of the wall is more. See here, 1.5. This is one brick wall. It is 1.5 brick, one brick and half brick. So next we'll see the Flemish bond. So in this type of bond, each course is comprised of alternate headers and stretchers. So for the breaking of the vertical joints in the successive courses, closures are inserted in alternate courses next to the coin header. In walls having their thickness equal to the odd number of half bricks, bats are essentially used to achieve the bond. Flemish bond, also known as Dutch bond, is created by laying the alternate headers and stretchers in the single course. You can see in the figure later. So the next course of brick is laid such that header lies in the middle of the stretcher in the course below. That is, the alternate headers of each course are centered on the stretcher of the course below. Before that also. These are the different types of the Flemish bond. Before that, we'll see the different properties of this. This is something called 1.5 brick wall. This is odd courses and even courses. Double Flemish bond, 1.5 thick brick wall. Single Flemish bond it is. You can see here. So every alternate course of Flemish bond starts with the header at the corner. These are the properties. The thickness of the Flemish bond is minimum 1 full brick. The disadvantage of this Flemish bond is that construction of Flemish bond is difficult and requires greater skill to lay it properly, as all the vertical mortar joints need to be aligned vertically for the best effects. So little bit skilled mason is required to construct this type of bonds. For the breaking of vertical joints in the successive courses, closures are inserted in the alternate courses next to the coin header. In walls having thickness equal to the odd number of half brick, number of half bricks, bats are used to achieve the bond. Flemish bonds are better appearance but are weaker than English bonds for load-bearing wall construction. So compared to the English bond, these are a little bit weaker for the construction of load-bearing walls. So thus, if the pointing has to be done for a brick masonry wall, then Flemish bond may be used for better aesthetic view. Okay, if you are doing only for the pointing work, not the plastering work, then you can go for this because they give the good aesthetic view. If the walls have to be plastered, then it is better to use English bond. Okay. So these Flemish bonds are of two types, single Flemish bond and double Flemish bond. So single Flemish bond is a combination of English bond and Flemish bond. In this type of construction, the front exposed surface of the wall consists of Flemish bond and the back surface of the wall consists of English bond in each course. In a single Flemish bond, you can see here, single Flemish bond. Front is one, back is another one. Like this. Again, the thickness is same. The arrangement is different. See here. Something like this. So that's what it says. Single Flemish bond in combinations of English bond and Flemish bond. In this type of construction, the front first exposed surface of the wall consists of Flemish bond and the back surface of the wall consists of English bond. So minimum thickness required for the single Flemish bond is 1.5 brick thickness. See, 1.5 brick thickness. Here you can see. The main purpose of using a single Flemish bond is to provide a greater aesthetic appearance on the front surface with the required strength in the brickwork with the English bond. So double Flemish bond has the same appearance both in the front and back elevation. That is, each course consists of alternate header and stretcher. This type of bonding is comparatively weaker than the English bond. So here in double Flemish bond, it's called double Flemish bond. You can see here. The thickness is same. The appearance is same in on both sides, front and back. Okay. The arrangement is different. That is, double Flemish bond has the same appearance both in the front and back elevation. Each course consists of alternate header and stretcher in elevation. This type of bonding is comparatively weaker than the English bond. So now we'll see what is comparison between the English and Flemish bond. So English bond is stronger than the Flemish bond for walls thicker than 1.5 brick. Flemish bond gives more pleasing appearance than the English bond. Broken bricks can be used in the form of bats in Flemish bond. However, more mortar is required. Construction with the Flemish bond requires greater scale in comparison to the English bond. So these are the some four different types of the comparison between the English bond and Flemish bond. So some of the other special bonds we'll see one by one. Facing bond. So this arrangement of bricks is adopted for thick walls where the facing and backing are desired to be constructed with bricks of different thickness. Facing bond. So this bond consists of heading and stretching courses so arranged that one heading course comes after the several stretching courses. Since the number of joints in the backing and the facing differ greatly, the load distribution is not uniform. So this may sometimes lead to unequal settlement of the two thickness of the walls. So here the bond consists of heading and stretching courses so arranged that one heading course comes after the several stretching courses. Since the number of joints in a backing and the facing differ greatly, the load distribution is not uniform. So this may sometimes lead to unequal settlement of the two thickness of the walls. Both have a different joints. Next is a Dutch bond. This bond is a modification of the Old English cross bond and consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers. This is a modification of the Old English bond and consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers like this. Headers, stretchers, headers, stretchers, headers, stretchers, headers, stretchers, headers. So this in this arrangement of brickwork, each stretching course starts at the quoin with a 3/4 bat and every alternate stretching course has a header placed next to the 3/4 brick bat provided at the quoin. You can see here. This is at the corner, 3/4 bricks. See, alternate stretching course has a header placed. Alternate stretching course, you can see the stretcher course has a header placed next to the 3/4 brick bed provided at the coin here. So just above this you have this stretcher course. Next is the racking bond. So this is a bond in a brickwork in which the bonding bricks are laid at any angle other than 0 or 90 degrees. So this arrangement helps to increase the longitudinal stability of the thick walls built in English bond. So in this arrangement of bonding, the space between the external stretchers of a wall is filled with bricks inclined to the face of the wall. This bond is introduced at certain intervals along the height of the wall. So there are two types of racking bonds. One is herringhorn bond and diagonal bond. There are the two types. So next one is a zigzag bond. This is similar to the herringhorn bond, with only difference that in this case the bricks are laid in a zigzag fashion. This is commonly adopted in brick paved flooring. Something like this. Zigzag bond. So similar to the herringhorn bond, with the only difference is that in this case the bricks are laid in a zigzag fashion. This is commonly adopted in brick paved flooring. For a flooring, when the bricks are used for a flooring work, this bond can be done. So English cross bond next. This is similar to the English bond and consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers. However, in this bond, queen closure are introduced next to the queen's headers, and each alternate stretching course has a header placed next to the coin stretcher. This bond is sufficiently strong and bears a good elevation. Now we can see here the difference. Header bond, stretcher bond, header bond, stretcher bonds. There is alternate, and 3/4 of the bricks you can see here. These are all. So this bond is sufficiently strong and bears a good elevation. That's what it says. This is similar to the English bond, and that is header and stretcher alternate courses. However, in this bond, queen closure are introduced next to the coin headers, and each alternate stretching course has a header placed next to the coin stretcher. Here, you can see the difference here. So this completes the different types of bonds in the brick masonry work.